The Summer Coat Pattern Sew Along, Part 2. I've also made this pattern up in blue linen from croftmill.co.uk again. I found the perfect match for my panel dress. You may remember me making this. See me making it up? This dress in denim also features in my how to top stitch video. Follow the links below. So getting back to the linen coat pattern, I have assembled my pattern and I'm ready to cut out main pieces, lining and the pocket pieces. The main pieces will be interfaced. I have chosen this super lightweight interfacing. As you can see, it is very delicate. But I don't want to make the linen in any way stiff. I just want to give it a little more body. So I don't need to trim away the seam allowance of the interfacing. It will be fine to leave it. So now to get everything cut out. Once the main pieces are cut out, you will need some of the pattern pieces for the interfacing. Make sure you have transferred all the markings before removing them from the main pieces. Tailor tack all dots and snip all notches. Here is the interfacing cut out. You don't need to transfer all the markings, you already have them on the main pieces, except for the welt pocket. So for the side, front, and the welt interfacing, clearly mark in the dots. The two front panels will be joined, ready to sew the welt pocket. Pencil works quite well for marking interfacing, or you could use a laundry marker. Next we will iron the interfacing onto the main pieces. So we have the main pieces and the pieces that don't need interfacing and the lining. Check your interfacing instructions on whether to use steam or a dry iron. We are ready to join the fronts to the side fronts. This is the centre front. This folds back to form the front facing. We have the pocket welt pieces. The pocket crosses the side front seam. But I nearly forgot to say, stay stitch the neckline and armhole edges just inside the seam allowance so that they don't stretch during construction. We are joining side front to front. Match notches and pin. As always, with opposing curves, snip into the seam line that is tight and then it will match. Pin, baste and stitch. For this over the bust seam, it helps if you have a pressing ham. We already snipped into this side. Now take V-cuts along the other side to take out any puckering. You will have a perfect seam across the bust. Next we make the welt pocket. The placement is marked with tailor tacks. So match up the dots. We need to mark the stitching line, and this has to be accurate. So mark 3/16 of an inch, 0.5 centimeters either side of the line and draw in parallel lines. The ends must be absolutely square. Stitch along these lines, back stitching at the ends. Watch my video for an in-depth tutorial on welt pockets. Back stitching to start and finish is important, as you don't want this stitching to come undone. The parallel lines are stitched. Remove the tailor's tacks. Again, I refer to my Sew A Welt Pocket video. Next, cut the welt pieces in half between the stitching. Then cut the main fabric . But stop 1.5 centimetres or half an inch before the start of the stitching. Carefully snip from this point right up to the start of the stitching. And the same with the other end. Again, accuracy is so important. Again, I refer to my Sew A Welt Pocket video to show you this in more detail. These narrow seams need to be pressed open. Make sure you have the opposite welt out of the way before you press open the seam. And again on the opposite side. Place like so, and you can more easily press the fold. Measure the width 0.5 centimetres or 3/16 of an inch. And again for the other side. I will be stitching along here to seal the welt in position. And these little ends will need to be stitched down. Looking good so far. If you are new to sewing welt pockets, watch the entire video. I'll stitch in the ditch along here to secure the edges. And across the triangles to secure the ends. Next we join on the top pocket. I will be making a welt pocket template as a free download on my site for you to use on your other patterns. So right sides together, match the notches. Pin, baste and stitch and press the seam down. And now the under pocket. Match the notches all the way around. Pin and baste. If the edges don't match perfectly, just trim them up after stitching. Machine all the way around from this side. Machine around again, 1/4 inch, 0.5 centimeters within the seam allowance for strength. Again, I refer to my Sew a Welt Pocket video. This is an easy process and doesn't have to be that accurate. Continue across the top. You can go around again. It rather depends on how much wear your pocket is going to get. The pocket is finished. I've trimmed the edges. There is no need to neaten further as this coat is lined. Welt pockets are difficult for beginners, but it's a skill worth learning. I made this one big enough for your mobile phone. We are ready for the next stage. This linen coat looks great with jeans. Check out my women's jeans pattern and sew along. Register for free on my site for the comprehensive ebook download on sewing jeans. Full membership costs just £30. You can download all my sewing patterns and access fashion design resources, or just buy individual patterns. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so, and thank you for watching.